once again, welcome to Africa Trade Fair TV. My name is Kwesi Appiajen with my brother Junaid. Today, we are here to talk about the topic, is there a way to guarantee your success? So, brother, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
And then back to the question, is there any way that you can guarantee success?
Yes, there's actually a few ways that you can guarantee your success in life. And the first thing is to define what success is to you.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that you need to do. Is define clearly what is success to you. Is success a feeling?
Wow.
Is success having certain things, materialistic things? Is success a mental achievement? Is it a spiritual achievement? What is your definition of success? So you have to define that clearly starting out, right? And going back to what you said, is there a way to guarantee? Now that's a big word right there, right?
You are right.
Guarantee. Now, you could talk to a lot of people and say, is there a way to really guarantee success? And what do you think a lot of them will tell you?
Others will say yes, others will say no. It depends on individual angle. Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Well, I firmly believe, and I know that there's a way to guarantee success, but, and I'm going to pause and say but for a reason.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to commit to this path, right? Because it's like day and night. First, you have to choose a path that you're going to go down, right? This is your goal, right? Let's say this is your goal. This is the opposite of your goal, right?
Yeah.
You say, okay, I want to be successful. This is the path to your goal, right? Next thing you do, you cut this road off. You become blind to failure. You become blind to the opposite way.
Yeah.
So there's only one path for you. There's no other path
Than success.
than success. You cannot give yourself an alternative. You cannot. If you want to be truly successful in anything that you do not give yourself an alternative.
Wow.
Commit to that path all the way. All the way. And then you can guarantee your success. Not saying that you won't have stumbling blocks, not saying that you won't have problems, but you can guarantee your success if you commit to that one path. And your mindset is, I'm going to commit to this until I become successful. Now, if you watch any of our previous videos, I said that word become and that word be for a reason, right? And this aligns with it, right? I said, you're going to commit to that path until you become successful, right? So the elimination of the opposition of your goal, right? You eliminate that. Once you eliminate that, you're eliminating about 70% of failure. You're eliminating 70% of failure. Completely. Just by being single-minded and saying, this is the path. And having that mindset and saying, I am going to commit to this until I become successful. That is one way you can guarantee yourself to be successful.
Wow.
You don't give yourself another option. You don't give yourself a plan B unless your plan B is plan A. Right?
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna leave you with now, so my brother could give you some more, and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay. But let that sink in. No other option. No other option
than to succeed.
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. So before I give my contribution, kindly subscribe, like, and share. And back to the point, success is what you actually accomplish with a sense of purpose and joy. Everybody has a means of defending his or her success. And as John said, to succeed, you rather have to define your set goals and path as how to get there. So to add to it, you have to start with a purpose. Before you succeed, you need to be purposeful. You have to have an aim, objectives, and something to be accomplished, of which when you are done, you end up measuring your set goals with your achievement to see either you were able to successfully achieve what you set out to do, which actually make it successful. More to the point, you have to adopt rightful attitude. You need to adopt rightful attitude to succeed as how to be successful. That is planning ahead, being disciplined, being determined, being hardworking, and courageous, and all sort of rightful attitude that will direct your path to success. And then you have to notice your every move, like every step that you take, you need to be careful. You have to guide it to see that it actually fall in lines with your aims and objectives that you have actually set. And to add it, you have to take control. If I say take control, that is, you have to be in charge of the system. And as I said, we are living in the world of two. That is the spiritual world and the physical world. So for you to succeed, you have to push a hand from the spiritual world, which actually reflects in the physical world. I remember there is a story in the Bible when the Israelites and one nation they were in battle. And then the prophet of Israel actually assured the Israelite that they will actually win the battle. And whilst they were on the battlefield, they were winning all right. And then their opponent realized no, they had to do something. So what the king actually did was he took his daughter and then put it on fire as a form of sacrifice to the gods. And from there, the whole battle actually turned against the Israelites. I don't know that you know that story in the Bible. It's a quote that actually I can't really recall. So the battle of which the Israelites were supposed to win, because of what the king did, it actually turned against the Israelites, and then they have to flee the battlefield, which means the king of the opponent actually took charge of the spiritual realm, which actually reflected on the physical through the sacrifice he made. And then what was supposed to be a defeat to them rather turned to be success, of which the Israelites had to flee the battleground. So to succeed, always you have to take control. And it's the spiritual aspect or the spiritual world that actually link up to our mentality. So you need to be able to control your mind as what you think, how you see yourself to be, and the things that you perceive in terms of ideas, goals, and objectives, and then define a path to reach your set goals as a means to succeed. So I don't know that you are willing to add something to it.
I actually do have something. It's very powerful too, and um, one of the things that I've come to love as somebody that is progressing is the alphabet
Wow.
and the dictionary. Words are powerful, and I don't know if you guys know the power of words, but it says in Proverbs, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." Right?
Wow.
So I'm gonna do something special for you guys. I'm gonna share with you guys one of my favorite words, and I'm gonna have Siri, which is my little assistant. I'm gonna actually have her tell you what this word means. Hey Siri, what does inevitable mean?
As an adjective, it means certain to happen, unavoidable. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Yes.
As a noun, it means a situation that is unavoidable.
All right, you guys just heard what Siri just said. I hope you guys heard it clearly. Inevitable. Inevitable. I love that word. And the reason why I love that word is it defines to me that no matter what happens, that this is going to happen.
Wow. You can't avoid it.
You cannot avoid it, right? And the beautiful thing about that is, to me, success is inevitable. And how can I say that? You can say, man, you just think you all that or whatever. No, success is inevitable for me. You know why? Because I do what it takes to guarantee that success.
Wow.
Right? A lot of you guys heard this before. I got the sauce. You heard that thrown around. You know, if you're in the Black community, you hear people say, I got the sauce, sauce this, sauce that. What is the sauce? Right? And let me explain to you what the sauce is. I'm going to actually give you a real life definition. Right?
Yeah.
This right here is salsa. Everybody can see that. Some Trader Joe's salsa. This is the sauce right here, right? Now, let me break down this to you. It has ingredients, right? Just pay close attention to what I'm telling you, because this could affect somebody's life right now and make them successful. And you learned it here at ATF TV. So subscribe, share, because you got this success from us, right?
Yeah.
Here are the ingredients: organic tomato puree, water, roasted yellow chili, onions, salt, dehydrated onions, cilantro, garlic powder, citric acid, right? Those are just the ingredients, right? All those ingredients make up the sauce, right? So in order to become successful, right, you need the ingredients. Yeah. You need the formula. Because if you have the formula, you can guarantee the success, right? So you want to be successful in whatever you're doing. Gather the ingredients that you need to make that sauce. And once you have the sauce, you can guarantee the success.
Wow.
It's so simple. Like, you really don't have to make it complicated. Anything that you want to do in life, gather the ingredients, gather the knowledge if it's knowledge that you need, gather the characteristics if it's characteristics that you need, and put them all together. Think about a puzzle. If you want to put the puzzle together, it's in many pieces. You have to find those pieces, put all those pieces together. Once you do that, it's complete. Success. If it's not together, what is it? It's not success.
Yeah.
Right? It's half done, partially done, partial accomplishment. Once it's together, you will accomplish that goal. Success. Get those ingredients, put them together. Boom. The final product is success. So what, like I said in the beginning, going back to the beginning, is define what success is for you, because that will alternately affect the ingredients that you get, and then the ingredients that you put together will ultimately affect the type of success that you want. Okay?
Yes.
So I mean, I just gave you guys some real simple, easy to follow guidelines on how to be successful. It's real simple. Make success for you inevitable, and you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't look at movie stars, actors, and all these people and say, man, they were gifted with this, they were gifted with that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, they really worked, tirelessly on achieving that success. But they worked so hard that their success was inevitable. There's no way that they could avoid success. And what happens is success starts following you now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're so good that you got people looking for you. You don't have to look for people anymore. Success comes looking for you. Like, hey, man, where you been, man? Where you been?
Yeah,
you taking a vacation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Money starts chasing you now. Yeah. All these things start chasing you because you have become a magnet now. You have become so powerful in that that development of yourself that you're attracting that stuff now. You don't have to chase it. Money, wealth, none of these things you should chase. What you should chase is those ingredients within yourself. And once you have it, you got the sauce, man.
Wow.
You got the sauce. It's just like you put out some food outside. Either a bird's gonna take it or ants are gonna come get it. Something's gonna come get it. It's not just gonna sit there
Right.
unless your sauce is not that good. You know?
Understand.
So you want to put those ingredients together, and like a good cook, you want it to taste good. Because here's the opposite of putting all those ingredients together. It doesn't taste good. Nobody wants to eat food that does not taste good. So when you put all those ingredients together, you want to put them together um finely, so well, so properly that people are like, they're just like, man, that thing is so good, like, yo. And you know, they're bragging about you now because you have put yourself in a position that people see the fruits of your work. They see that, okay, this guy is something to be mentioned.
Like add value to yourself.
Yes, become valuable. Like, you have this sauce. Why would I buy this sauce from Trader Joe's if it didn't taste good? I wouldn't buy it. So nobody's gonna buy your product, buy your service, ask you for advice. You come to you, you know what I'm saying? Or you're not gonna get those results because you don't have the sauce, or your sauce does not taste good. That's real simple.
All right, thank you. And then to add to the point, you have to create a daily plan with this formula. I mean, to be successful in everything, it's hard to start from the mind. As I said, our mind is being tied to our spirituality. So mostly the thought and ideas that comes in our mind is a mystery which is being revealed from the spiritual world to our mind stream. So first, after having vision, you have to create a daily plan as how to accomplish what you are doing. Meaning, planning is getting to where you are supposed to go, like getting the definition of your destination before you even start the journey.
Okay. That he just made a good point, and I'm actually gonna piggyback, so don't lose your thought. So I'm gonna give you a personal testimony of something that I accomplished myself, right? And what I did is I made up in my mind. That was the first thing I did. I made up in my mind that I'm going to achieve this goal. Period. That's the first thing I did. I committed to it.
Wow.
I didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I knew I was gonna get there. Right? So ultimately I started like that. I started saying, okay, I'm going to accomplish this goal because I was sick and tired of getting the results I was getting. They weren't the results I wanted. So I got sick and tired and said, you know what? I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this happen. Started there, right? What I did is when I first started, I kind of asked myself, what can I do? You know, I was thinking in my head, like, what can I do right now? You know, a thought came to me, read a book on this subject, right? I listened to a book, listened to that book. From there, okay, I got some insight, right? Then next thing, listen to another book, right? From there, I started bridging that gap from where I was to my goal,
book.
Right? Okay. And I committed so deeply to this goal that day and night, this was the only thing on my mind, basically. So it has to kind of take over your conscious, because a lot of times is if you try to do this part-time, if you're trying to be a part-time success person, you're only going to get part-time results. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you work full-time. Even while you're at your job, you should be thinking about this goal. You should be thinking about it. While you're at your job, whether you're on the machine, the assembly line, you're in your head, you're still thinking like, how can I do this? Or when I get home, I'm going to read this book. Or when I get home, I'm going to do some research on this. Because one thing I learned from successful people is that you have to become obsessed. And that's I adopted that formula because I seen the results that other successful people has achieved, and I adopted it because success leaves clues. And once I adopted it for myself and I became obsessed with it, and I'm not talking obsessed where you are, you know, you're a stalker type success, but You have to stalk success as if you were a hunter.
Yeah.
You have to become obsessed about it, that you're thinking about it day and night.
Nice.
That's like the single focus on your mind.
Yeah.
There's only one path. When doubt comes, guess what? You don't, doubt doesn't get you down because
All right.
you commit to it.
Yeah.
So even if you feel doubt, you're like, I'm still gonna accomplish this goal.
Wow.
You feel fear, I'm still gonna accomplish this. So you start that way, and that is how you can guarantee yourself to be successful.
Wow. That's great.
You make it an inevitable thing, man. You really do. And you think about it day and night. You work on it effortlessly. You can't just say, I want to be successful, and you're not putting in any type of work. You're not putting any type of effort. And then another thing is, even if you put in effort and you don't commit to it fully, then you're only gonna go so far. You're not gonna go the extra mile that it takes. A lot of people, they get close to the finish line, but they give up because they don't see it. A lot of times success, you don't see it. You don't see it with your physical eyes like it's a finish line that you say, okay, if I run that far, I'm gonna make it. A lot of times it's not something that you can see, but you can see it mentally.
Yeah.
You can see it mentally if you commit to it. People that don't commit to it, you'll think like, yeah, I can achieve it, but then obstacles will come up to test you to see if you really want it. And then some of you guys will give up because you haven't committed to it. You have to commit to this, man.
All right, thank you.
And you could interview or watch videos on anyone that's successful, and they'll tell you you have to commit to it.
Understand. That's great. Okay, thank you very much. And more or less to add it to the point, you have to ignore your feelings. At times, to be successful, there are certain endeavor or adventure you have to undertake. And when the need arises, you have to bury your pride and then take certain decisions if that is the way which will lead you to success.
You said something about feelings. Say that again.
Yeah, feelings. Like you have to ignore your feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's an alternative, right?
Yeah.
It's called emotional intelligence.
That's good.
Right? And emotional intelligence it's kind of like ignoring your feelings, but it goes a little bit deeper. Emotional intelligence is you are actually feeling those emotions. You can't really stop feeling those emotions, but what you're doing is you're actually manipulating your emotions to accomplish your goal. Like, for example, anytime I feel fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would use fear as an indicator that I'm going somewhere.
Wow.
Or that I'm getting closer to my goal. If I feel like, let's say I feel doubt. Doubt is basically telling me that, okay, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're doing something that's kind of noteworthy. You're doing something that you can achieve. So doubt is basically coming to say, yo, let me stop this guy because he's trying to do something here and I don't want him to do it. So you should use that emotional intelligence to saying, okay, why? Ask yourself, question yourself, why am I feeling doubt? If you weren't doing nothing, would you feel doubt? No. That means you must be doing something. So you should use that as an indicator that, okay, I'm moving towards this goal. And doubt is just the opposition. It's just like you're climbing Mount Everest. That you're gonna feel that wind blowing, you're gonna feel that cold. But guess what? Your goal is to climb to the top of Mount Everest. Yes. Are you gonna let that wind stop you? That's what doubt is. That's what fear is. It's trying to hold you back. Because if you were at the bottom of the hill, you wouldn't be feeling that fear. You wouldn't be feeling that doubt. So you should use it as an indicator, like, okay, I'm moving towards this goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When those thoughts come to you, like, man, you can't do this. You can't make it. All that is opposition to try to push you back. Because if you weren't doing those things, you would not hear those voices.
Yeah.
So you should use that and say, okay, you know what? You should probably even laugh at it. Say, you know what? All right, I'm going to keep on doing this because I wouldn't be having any opposition if I couldn't achieve this or if I wasn't making progress towards that.
Well,
So that is an emotional intelligence, right?
all right. Thank you. And then lastly, you have to love. I always say love is the key to success, or love is the basic unit to success. Why? In this world, if you sit down and look at things critically, you realize that people who actually succeed are people who kind of have a kind of compassion and have a positive mentality towards what they are doing and to touch the lives of other people successfully. If you love, it's when you bring what it is in you and the passion in you to create something of which people will also appreciate you by adding value to what you are doing as they acquire it from you in order to make you successful. For instance, take those who produce cars. It took love to produce it. Why? Because they had affection for the people, thinking, oh, this is the kind of struggling they are going through. So why don't I create something that will help them to move around comfortably? Think of those who produce food. They had love in mind. Why? Because they thought, oh, people are hungry. So let's show compassion by producing food or something so that at least they can survive. So as far as you love, you end up have a rightful thoughts and a rightful feelings of which that will push every ingredient in you and drive you towards your success. So before we end it, let me see that John can add something so that we end everything.
All right. The last nugget that I'm gonna leave with you guys is standards.
Wow.
Every level of success has a standard that you have to achieve.
Wow.
There's a standard. There's a standard in almost everything. Not having a standard is a standard.
Yeah.
So what I realized is if I wanted to accomplish a certain goal, I would have to reach that standard as a person. Because success, the level of the success, I should say, let's say it's right here. And I'm right here. This is where I'm at right now. Not getting the results that I want,
Yes.
right? If I don't raise myself to that standard, I'm not going to meet success, right? You're just going to be below it. You
Yeah.
might get some you might get some draft from that
Yes,
success,
but
but you're
not
not going to get that
exactly,
success. So you have to raise your standards. When you raise your standards and say, okay, this is unacceptable. Success demands this standard
Wow.
of me.
Yes.
So I'm going to become that standard, and then you meet success. Now you can mesh with success. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So you have to kind of say, okay, if you want to be in the same boat as somebody, the same boat of success, you got to reach that standard. You can't be in the same boat with A-listers if your performance as an actor is a B-lister.
Wow.
You're not going to be in the same category. In the Army, they have what's called the A train, the B train, and the C train. And what that basically is depending on the time that you get when you run
Yes.
during a 2 mile, you get categorized. The top runners, which have the lowest time, A train. Second group, B train. Last train, C train. These people are,
They don't use them much because they know they can't perform well.
right? And you should always try to achieve A train. Why settle for B or C?
Yeah.
When you have the power to accomplish A. So you have to put yourself in that boat. You want to be successful? Achieve the highest level of success that you can in that field.
Wow.
Don't settle for less than you're capable of, because that's when you're going to sell yourself short. There's a saying, shoot for the moon and you might land with the stars.
Wow.
Right? You got to
Yes.
shoot above your goal. And the reason why I say shoot above your goal is a lot of times it's either you miss your goal or you accomplish your goal, and then you say, man, I could have did more. Because most of the time when you hit it, you could be like, man, I could have did better. So the thing is when you don't hit your goal, you're like, man, I suck. I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is if you shoot above it now, it's like you're guaranteed to either hit above it or hit the goal. And it's better to hit the goal than to fall below it.
Wow.
So always try to overachieve. Try, shoot past your goal. Because that way you're guaranteeing that, okay, I'm going to take X amount of action to guarantee this. But if I don't hit this, I at least achieve my goal. So shoot above it.
Understand.
Shoot above it.
All right.
Don't be average, man.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you for watching. Kindly like, subscribe, and share for us. Thank you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.